Hi everyone on YouTube. I thought I would show you something interesting with silver. I've not seen anybody with a bag of this on YouTube. It's called silver cement, and as you can see, essentially what it is when you dissolve 50% or when you dissolve stuff in acid, nitric acid, you end up with silver nitrate, and then what you do is you add copper to it, and because copper wants to be dissolved in the acid more than the silver, it will push the silver out of the solution. Then you collect the particles, you sieve it out or pour the liquid off or whatnot, and you dry it out, and you end up with this stuff. So this is about 15 grams at the moment. I did have a little slight accident in the garage, not with the really strong nitric acid. I'm quite careful with that, but no, with the weaker stuff, because you dilute it down. What I did was I had it on my hot plate, and the glass I was using, I added some cold water to the hot liquid, and it cracked. And I thought nothing of it because nothing came out of it. And then when I went to pick the container up, the bottom fell out completely, and about 1.5 ounces of silver went all over my workbench. So then what I had to do was, I'll take a picture of the garage in a minute what happened. I had to scrape all the wood off the workbench which contained the silver nitrate. Then I've had to soak that and remove the silver nitrate out of it. Then I've had to extract it back out. So yeah, a little bit of a head fuck, but we're here now, and that's why my hands are a bit purple. Yeah, so silver cement. I have got a video of me dissolving the nitric acid. I might add it to this, but because I had a slight accident, I haven't completed the process. I mean, this is about 98–99% pure at the moment. There's a last final process you go through to make it a 3/9 pure. You do a bit of electrolysis with it, and you just get it to basically, you know what electrolysis is, we have two rods in water and it attracts it to one, and the other one depletes, and then you'll end up with your pure silver. Shiny, shiny, shiny. This is something else I purchased recently. It's called a silver palm leaf, and it's made in, where is it? I think it's made in Oxford. Anyway, on here it says silver AG, but it's not clear what if it's 100% pure silver, or if it's sterling silver, or whatever type of silver it is. But anyway, I bought it second hand, and I think I paid £8 for it. But I'm pretty well. It weighs 65 grams. Obviously, it's a credit card pipe. Now, I don't know if anybody knows what the purity of this silver is. I've done various things. My metal detector seems to think, if I take the stainless steel bit off the back, the metal detector seems to think it's silver. What I might do is buy some silver testing solution, just to make sure. I dripped a bit of nitric acid on the back of it, and it doesn't react. And normally, if it's pure silver, it won't react with nitric acid until you heat it up. You can, drop a 3/9 or 4/9 silver coin in some nitric acid, it will just sit there for ages. You might get a bit of golden liquid, but as soon as you start heating the acid up, that's when it will dissolve very quickly. Whereas if you dropped a 50% silver coin in some nitric acid, crikey, it just disappears. So yeah, if anybody knows anything about these, and because I picked it up quite cheap, it was £8. Well, there's potentially 2 ounces of fine silver here, 2 troy ounces. It's a bit dirty inside, obviously it's been used for smoking. Where was it? Out there, you can see where I did drip a bit of acid on there, let's see. I guess the idea of this being silver is because it's non-toxic and it's sterile, so if you're smoking, you know, lots of things leach stuff out when you heat them up. Like plastics are bad for leaching stuff out, and you know, various metals are. Okay, so we're in the garage, and this is my workbench. Oops. It's quite a big... Basically, this is my hot plate, which I made out of a... it used to be, believe it or not, an old percolator thing they had at work. You know, that they have the coffee on and stuff, and it used to have like this bit that came up here, and then anyway, I modified it, and now it's my hot plate. Well, obviously what I was doing was I had a bit of glass on there, and it was all alright while it was hot. It was just because I added cold liquid to it to dilute the acid down, and it cracked. And I was like, oh. And then no liquid leaked out, so I thought, that's alright. And then, like I say, when I went to move it, obviously it went sploosh all over there. So then what I've had to do is scrape my workbench up like this. Can you imagine? Because it all ballooned up, because it's only chipboard and obviously nitric acid, or silver nitrate is what it was. Obviously it ballooned all up, so I scraped it all off and then collected it and soaked it. And this is the rest of the acid in here, which I'm still extracting. And what you'll notice, I don't know if you can see, it's a bit dark in here. Essentially it's green at the moment. It will go more blue when you've got the silver out of the solution. When it's like a sea green sort of colour, that means that essentially you've got silver and copper in the solution. And what you have to do is dissolve copper in. So you can use old wire or just anything copper. But you want to make sure you've got no grit or anything. So if you're using a bit of pipe, make sure you clean it up nice. But yeah, that was my disaster. Oh, and then what you do to melt it, you carbonise a bit of wood. And what you do with that is you get your blowtorch and you burn the wood so it's carbonised, and then you put the powder in there, the silver powder, and then you get your blowtorch and just heat it up, and it will all suck into a ball, a nice blob. So yeah, when I get a bit more stuff, I mean I could melt it into a blob at the moment, but I'm trying to get the last little bit of the stuff out. Yeah, so if you're going to be messing around with this stuff, use some plastic gloves. I didn't have any latex gloves in here, and because anyway, and I ended up with blue fingers, and it stains your nails kind of weird as well. But it's not underneath your skin. I did check. I was getting paranoid. I was thinking, oh my god, like 5 days later, my fingers are still blue, and I picked some of the skin off, and it's not blue underneath. Just one last thing to add to the blog. Our first quail egg. They're tiny, almost looks unreal. It looks like one of those Cadbury's eggs you get